I do get good ratings, you have to admit that. I have to deal with a lot of politicians, don't forget. And I have to convince them that what I'm saying is right. And I appreciate your understanding on that. I can't believe I'm saying I'm a politician, but I guess that's what I am now. I love to negotiate things. I do it really well and all that stuff. So here's the story, folks. Number one, I am the least anti-Semitic person that you've ever seen in your entire life. Number two, racism, the least racist person. I find it very, very hard doing what the law says exactly to do. People take 10, 15, 20 years to get disapproved for a factory. They go in for a permit. It's many, many years. And then at the end of the process, they spend tens of millions of dollars on nonsense. And at the end of the process, they get rejected. Now, they may be rejected with me, but it's going to be a quick rejection. Not going to take years. And the wall is going to be a great wall. And it's going to be a wall negotiated by me. Let me tell you about the travel ban. We had a very smooth rollout of the travel ban. Other countries have been taking advantage of us for decades. Decades and decades and decades, folks. I didn't come along and divide this country. This country was seriously divided before I got here. Mass instability overseas, no matter where you look. The Middle East, a disaster. North Korea, we'll take care of it, folks. We're going to take care of it all. I just want to let you know. I inherited a mess of Senate Democrats. You've seen what they've done over the last long number of years. We have the greatest people on earth in our military, but they don't have the right equipment, and their equipment is old. I used it. I talked about it at every stop. Depleted. It's depleted. It won't be depleted for long. On foreign affairs, we've already begun enormously productive talks with many foreign leaders, much of it you've covered, to move forward towards stability, security, and peace in the most troubled regions of the world, of which there are many. We have had great conversations with the United Kingdom and meetings, Israel, Mexico, Japan, China, and Canada. Really, really productive conversations. I would say far more productive than you would understand. Nobody's ever seen regulations like we have. You go to other countries and you look at industries they have and you say, let me see your regulations. Mike Flynn is a fine person, and I asked for his resignation. There are two Chicagos, as you know. There's one Chicago that's incredible, luxurious, and all, and safe. There's another Chicago that's worse than almost any of the places in the Middle East that we talk about and that you talk about every night on the newscasts. We're becoming a drug-infested nation. Drugs are becoming cheaper than candy bars. I called Mexico. And in calling Mexico, I figured, oh, well, that's nice. I spoke to the president of Mexico, had a good call. When I was called out on Mexico, I was shocked. Look, I want to see an honest press. When I started off today by saying that it's so important to the public to get an honest press. The public doesn't believe you people anymore. Now, maybe I had something to do with that. I don't know. It's not a simple question, not a fair question. Okay, sit down. I understand the rest of your question. Tomorrow they will say, Donald Trump rants and raves at the press. I'm not ranting and raving. I'm just telling you, you're dishonest people. But I'm not ranting and raving. I love this. I'm having a good time doing it. But tomorrow the headlines are going to be, Donald Trump rants and raves. The leaks are absolutely real. The news is fake because so much of the news is fake. Look, when I go to rallies, they turn around, they start screaming at CNN. They want to throw their placards at CNN. Wall Street Journal did a story today that was almost as disgraceful as the failing New York Times' story yesterday. Russia is a ruse. I have nothing to do with Russia. Haven't made a phone call to Russia in years. Don't speak to people from Russia. Not that I wouldn't, I just have nobody to speak to. Russia is fake news. This is fake news put out by the media. The greatest thing I could do is shoot that ship that's 30 miles offshore right out of the water. Everyone in this country is going to say, oh, it's so great. And by the way, it would be great if we could get along with Russia, just so you understand that. Now, tomorrow you'll say, Donald Trump wants to get along with Russia. This is terrible. It's not terrible. It's good. You know, they say I'm close to Russia. Hillary Clinton gave away 20% of the uranium in the United States. She's close to Russia. You know what uranium is, right? It's a thing called nuclear weapons and other things. Like lots of things are done with uranium, including some bad things. I want all environmental situations to be taken properly care of. It's very important to me. I put it out before the American people, got 306 electoral college votes. I wasn't supposed to get 222. They said there's no way to get 222. 230 is impossible. 270, which you need, that was laughable. We got 306 because people came out and voted like they've never seen before. So that's the way it goes. I guess it was the biggest electoral college win since Ronald Reagan. Go ahead.
Excuse me. You said, I am, just want to get untangled. Very simply, you said today that you had the biggest electoral margin since Ronald Reagan with 304, 306 electoral votes. In fact, President Obama got 365 in 2006.
Well, I'm talking about Republican.
The President Obama 332, yeah. And George H.W. Bush 426 when he won as president. So why should Americans trust you?
Well, no, I was given that
information.
I was just given. We had a very, very big margin.
I guess my question is, why should Americans trust you when you accuse the information they receive of being fake when you're providing information that's
well, I was given that information.
Mr. President,
That information.
President Trump.
It was a very substantial victory. Do you agree with that?
You're the president.
Okay, thank you. Mr. President. Defeat of ISIS, a group that celebrates the murder and torture of innocent people in large sections of the world. It used to be a small group. Now it's in large sections of the world. They've spread like cancer. ISIS has spread like cancer. Another mess I inherited.